what it's like being back here in Toronto. I'm sitting in my room and I'm just reflecting. Yes, being back here, just confirmed to me that I made the right decision. I didn't really need confirmation, but when I look at the cost of living here, when I look at the way that the price of things here, guys, even from 2 years ago when I was here, things that I bought for $1.99, like $2. Now I'm seeing it for $6, $7, $8. Yeah, man. And I'm wondering, how are people surviving in this place? Honestly, how are people living in this country? My sister, I finally met up with my sister a couple days ago because um, my sister worked two jobs. Yeah, two jobs, guys. This is what you have to do to survive in Ontario, Canada. I go to my sister's house. My sister has everything that she needs. Okay, beautifully well put away, everything that she needs to comfort. But guess what? She is not even home to enjoy her beautiful home. Because sometimes when she leaves home, she don't come back for 2 days. She's a nurse. She works in the hospital. She has a part-time job at the nursing home. So she goes from the hospital to the nursing home, from the nursing home back to the hospital. And I'm saying to you, why? You have all so much stuff. And there are boxes from Amazon or whatever that needs to be opened, pile up there. You have so much stuff and you cannot even enjoy it. Guys, it's not easy out here. It's not easy out here. And this is why when I talk and I say that a lot of Africans are living better than us in the West, some people don't understand. And some people think, that, oh, I'm saying that because I don't want people to come to North America. Who am I to stop anyone from coming to like North America? But I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you reality. A lot of people from Africa, a lot of people from the Caribbean come to North America and they are struggling. They are suffering. They are living in poverty. It's a fact.
It sucks. Working full time and not being able to afford groceries. I can't afford groceries. I can't even afford gas to get to work. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore.
Again, when I say that local Africans are living better than us here in like North America, whatever, guys, let me tell you something, it's real. This is not fake. This is not, and I chose this particular video so that you will see that it's not only black people coming up here and complain, whatever, right? White folks are feeling the pressure too. You can make a good living here. You make good money. It on paper, it looks a lot. But once you start breaking down the numbers and you start getting into taxes and you start getting into the expense of things, guys, it's expensive here. It is expensive to live in Toronto. So if you're making $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a year, and you're paying $15,000, $20,000 on that in taxes, and then you're paying rent, you can't even afford to buy a home in Toronto anymore. You have to move out in the boonies somewhere. You may get a house like cheaper out there, but guess what? There are no jobs out there. So you'd have to commute to the city, like 3 hours commute every day. Why? Your quality of life suffer. Things are expensive out here. And with the, after COVID, man, something happens, that like prices spike, the mood of people become dark and miserable. I see when I came here, I was like, what happened? The first day I like went out after being here and I was like, whoa, people are just like, they don't look happy. Everyone has this dread, gloomy look on the face, yeah? This is reality. This is reality. This is not fabrication. This is not overreacting. This is reality. I'm happy that I left. And I encourage you, if you want to leave, leave. Before, I have never told anyone to leave because it is your decision to make. But if you want to leave, leave. It can be done. Just get up and do it.
Listen, if you're thinking of leaving Canada, just do it. Leave. You could be here in Costa Rica, living your best life for pretty much the same cost of living. You're probably thinking, okay, but how? I can't just pack my shit and leave. Yes, you can. We did. It's doable. You gotta stop making excuses for yourself and just do it. There are thousands of remote jobs that will let you work from anywhere. If you already have a home, rent it out, and voila, you purchase your ticket and you go and live your best life in Costa Rica.
You see, guys, it can be done. It really can be done if you're thinking about leaving, guys. I know sometimes, like we have fear and we're scared because we don't know the unknown. But sometimes the unknown might be better than what you are familiar with. You see what she says, She's in Costa Rica and she's enjoying life. Now, like I said before, you can work remotely. There are many companies that would allow you to work remotely. There are many companies that would hire you because you are remote. If you can do it, you have a house, you can rent out your house. The income, just imagine, to rent an apartment in Toronto right now costing you between, let's go into the downtown area. Let's stay in like North York, okay? In North York where I live, $2,000, guys, for a one-bedroom apartment. If you have a family, you're looking at $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom. My rent in Tanzania, right, is 1 month rent in Toronto. 1 month rent in Toronto is my whole year's rent in Tanzania. So if you have a house that you can rent out, if you have and you can collect $3,000, $4,000 a month for rent, off of rent. If you have a job that allows you to work remote, or if you look for a remote job, guys, you can live your dreams. You don't have to stay here and go through all the nonsense that Canadians go through. You don't have to stay here and deal with the high cost of living. You don't have to stay here and deal with the weather. You don't have to stay here and deal with all the stuff, guys. You can go and you can enjoy life.
I'm so honored to have been asked this. So here are a couple of reasons why you should be leaving Canada immediately. Not necessarily for London, where I went, but just leave Canada. Let's start with the weather. Unless you've spent a significant amount of time there, you cannot truly understand the emotional, mental, and physical toll that the weather has on you in Canada. You also don't realize how limiting it makes your life and how little the amount of time you get to spend outside in a year. In Toronto, it can get to -40 with the wind. And that's not even the coldest city in Canada. During that time, it's gloomy, there's no sun, it's gray, it's dark really early, and yes, it's gloomy in London too, but you can still go out most of the year. You can still leave the house in gloom and rain and wind, but you literally cannot leave the house when it is freezing.
Yeah, that is real. Since I've been here, right? It's been what? 8, 9 days now. We have not had sunshine. It has been dark and gloomy, overcast, freezing cold. Okay, this is Canada, yeah? But guys, it takes a toll on you because you need the sunshine, especially us, melanated people, black people. We need the sun, we need the vitamin, we need that vitamin D. I heard one guy from England. He said that, when he moved to Africa, I think, and he was doing a video, and he said having that sunshine was good for his libido. He said it. Libido or his testosterone. We need that sunshine. We need that. Yeah, it was not meant for human beings to live in that kind of weather. It was not meant for us human beings to survive, especially us black people. We have melanin. We need the sun. And when you don't get that melanin, it will tell you go to the doctor and they will give you vitamin D pills. Why? You should be getting that from the sun. So this weather is not colored for us. It is not for us. And this is why you have mood swings. And this is why you have anxiety. And this is why you go into depression. There's something called seasonal depression. We cannot function in this kind of climate. Imagine being here and minus 40. Because I've been in this minus 40 something with the windshield. Minus 30, minus 20 something with the windshield. You think it's easy? Canadian winters are brutal. And Canadian winters are not meant for us. So if you can go somewhere else where you can survive, where you can thrive, why not?
This is Canada. Maple syrup in my cabin, say. Ay, kick your ass all hockey season, ay. Mountains be riding horses, say. Yeah, this is Canada.
This is too cold. This is where I draw the line on winter. Negative 15, man. I need to move somewhere warm because I'm actually done with this.
Just imagine being in a country where you don't have to do that. You wake up every morning, it's sunny outside. Even when it's rain. You grab an umbrella and a raincoat. It's something I have to buy before I go back to Tanzania. Go to Walmart and get a couple of raincoats. You don't have to think about shoveling the snow, pile of snow. You don't have to think about getting up in the morning and like cleaning your car, applying salt. Man, it's freedom, you know. You're free from all of that. Let's imagine 365 days of sunlight, 365 days of sunshine. All you gotta do is have a broom and you just sweep your like compound. And if you want, you can hire somebody to come sweep your. I do it for myself. I sweep my own compound. I clean my own house. The only thing I do over there is I pay someone to wash my clothes. But everything else I do by myself. Right? I can afford to pay someone to clean my house. Because there are young girls that goes by and asking, you know, if you want your house clean. Guys, I can afford to pay someone to clean my house. But I do it myself. Because I do it here. And when you go over there, you have to learn how to live over there. You have to learn how to manage your budget so that you don't go broke in Africa. So these are things that I can afford if I want to. I can afford to have someone come clean my house, sweep the compound. The guy that takes my garbage, and I pay for my garbage to like be collected. The guy that pick up my garbage can clean my compound for me, and I give him an extra couple of dollars. But I do that myself. I don't have to shovel snow. Life is beautiful.
What is the biggest thing you regret in life?
I regret in life? I regret coming to Canada because if I had stayed in the Caribbean, I would have been way better. I came to Canada. I worked, I don't know, maybe 20 years. I had to go back to my country. 7 years, living here for 20 years, 7 years in my country, give me enough money to buy 2 properties in Canada cash. 7 years, 7. And 20 years you're just paying rent and nothing. It tells me Canada is just a trap. I own property and it's hard for me. So imagine people who come from different countries for the first year and you're wasting your time, you're going to stress out, you're going to go crazy and you're going to die in less than 10 years. When in your country, which would have been harder, you live for another 40, 50 years. No matter how bad it is in your country, it's only going to get worse here.
What is the biggest thing you regret in life?
I regret in life? I regret coming to Canada because if I had stayed in the Caribbean, I would have been way better. I came to Canada. I worked, I don't know, maybe 20 years. I had to go back to my country. 7 years, living here for 20 years, 7 years in my country, give me enough money to buy 2 properties in Canada cash. 7 years, 7. And 20 years you're just paying rent and nothing. It tells me Canada is just a trap. I own property and it's hard for me. So imagine people who come from different countries for the first year and you're wasting your time, you're going to stress out, you're going to go crazy and you're going to die in less than 10 years. When in your country, which would have been harder, you live for another 40, 50 years. No matter how bad it is in your country, it's only going to get worse here.
See what I'm telling you, man? These are testimonies, yeah? These are testimonies. You see what I'm telling you? Many people come here chasing whatever dream. Many people fight to come here. Many people sell their home. Many people sell their property. Many people borrow money. Many people spend thousands of dollars to come here. And I'm saying, why? Right? One guy was talking to me in Tanzania, and already spent an equivalent of $5,000 to come here. I said, buddy, if you take that $5,000 and you invest that $5,000 into a business, you can stay in your country, you can build yourself. There is no need to come to North America has nothing to offer you anymore. That is real. That is real. Look at this, yeah? I'm in Tanzania now for 2 years, right? January 13th was 2 years since I moved to Tanzania, like permanently. Yes, here in Canada, I was working here. I had a very good job here. I talked about it before. My ex-wife was very good in investing stuff that allow me to enjoy the life that I'm enjoying right now. Right? But on my own, 2 years in Africa, guys. On my own, okay? Apart from my family, I am more successful on my own as an individual. And I see the potential for growth. I see it. Long-term growth. I see the projection. I see where I want to take my business. I have the vision. I set the goal. Because I know I can achieve a lot more, even more than what I achieve here in Canada. I can achieve way more in Africa, Tanzania, where I am. Guys, all over Africa, Burkina Faso, now Burkina Faso is opening up, right? Mali. Those are young, dynamic leaders who have taken power to steer the country in the right direction because they realize that the old men that had been in power for so many years were just like puppets of the colonial masters. So if you stay in a country and you work hard, you help develop your country. And that's why I say you don't have to come into the white man's country and build their country. They're suffering now. Canada needs immigrant. Canada is going to be pulling immigrant because Canadians are not making babies to keep the economy going as it should. But then when you come here, you realize the cost of living here. You got to deal with the weather. You got to deal with so much stuff here. Many people are here, and many people are suffering. Many people are here. They're going through depression and anxiety. Many people are here. They get up every day. They go to work, and they're still struggling. Many people work 40 hours a week, and they have to go to the food bank to get food stuff. It is not easy. It is real.
Move on to earning in Canadian dollars, which is probably by far the worst currency to earn from if we're speaking of Western countries. Canadian dollars will get you nowhere. Okay, when I moved to London, I lost half of my money.
Let's talk about this, right? Honestly, yes? Honestly, man, because this affected me personally. My second trip to Tanzania, guys. When I went to Tanzania, yeah, I usually go with US currency, right? But when I was going there, my second trip, when I look at the exchange rate, I was like, nah, I'm not going to. It was not worth it to buy US currency. So I went there with Canadian money. And when I went to the bank, they was like, oh, we don't accept Canadian money. So I was like, eh? So I found that to be strange, right? So I was like, I was kind of confused, right? So I asked to see the manager. And they said, oh, yeah, we don't accept Canadian. So I was like, why? And then it was explained to me that Tanzania does not have a Canadian currency reserve. So I said, this is the only country in all my years of traveling, this is the only country that I've come to that they don't, guys, I had a stack of Canadian bills. I could not. So I said, what the hell am I going to do with my money? So we went to another bank, the same thing. We went to another bank, the same thing. I was in Tanga, yes? I was not in Dar es Salaam. So we went to one bank and they said, well, maybe when you go to Dar es Salaam, something, well, I'm in Tanga. I'm not going to Dar es Salaam for 2 weeks. What am I going to do? He said to me, oh, This is not the guy in the bank. He said to me, "Oh, you can go to the black market." So I had two choices. It's either use card, which has a high um um like service charge rate, right? Every time you use your card, I was paying something like 40 something. No, okay, when you use your like credit card over there, and that's another thing too. In Tanzania, credit card is not widely used. So if I have to go to the machine to withdraw money from my bank card over here or from my like credit card, you pay double. You pay the local interest, the local fee, and the North American fee, and the Canadian fee, and it's a lot of money. Locally, when I withdraw money from the machine in Tanzania, if I go to NMB Bank, I'm paying something like 15,000 Tanzanian shillings, right? That's like $8 Canadian, $9 Canadian, yeah? Just imagine, yeah? Over there. And then my bank charged me, what, $16 because of international transfer, yeah? So this guy said to me, well, go to the black market. The guy in the bank, my Tanzanian brother had to find a place where he can go to exchange Canadian currency, guys. And what they give you, the exchange rate. And then the guy said, well, we have to take it to Kenya to exchange it there. So this is real. This is real. So like to my Canadian viewers, if you're traveling to Africa, well, let's say Tanzania, don't go with Canadian currency. Get US currency. The other African countries, I'm not sure, but just to be on the safe side, US currency. The Canadian money don't have that much value as it don't. Compared to the US dollar, the Canadian currency is, well, I don't want to say it's worth nothing, but the value, man, is not high. Honestly, Canadians are moving away. White Canadians, black Canadians, Indian Canadians, guys, Canadians are moving away. Not only here in like Canada, North America, Europe, whatever. People are moving away because people are realizing that these places are not the same anymore. These places are going down. These places are not economically sound. These places are, in a bubble, and once that bubble busts, and look at now with the buffoon that you have in America there, and all the stuff that he's planning to do, guys, it's only a matter of time before this bubble busts. And this is why I keep saying, to my African American people, my Afro Caribbean people, my Afro British people, my African people all over the world, wherever we are, it is time for us to repatriate. Because Africa is where we need to be right now. Africa is a place that gives us opportunities to build, to own, to achieve. Africa is a place that we can go with whatever little money we have, and we work hard over there. We're careful, we invest our money, and we nurture something to grow. We can do it. We live out in the West. We see how the West have done it. Why can't we do it? Are we just being foolish? Or for all the years we spend here, our head have been buried in the sand. We don't realize what they do. We don't realize how they do it, so that we can emulate what they do. Well, the Chinese did it. When Richard Nixon went to like China in the 1970s to get into that Chinese market, right? Which I talked about before. Like China said, okay, you want to get into this lucrative, huge market, fine, but teach us what you do. Teach us how you do it, because back then America was the leader. America is no longer the leader, but America was the leader in every aspect of technology, whatever, guys, economic, manufacturing, whatever. America was it. But America was so stupid, to realize that, hey, they look down on the Chinese. The Chinese are poor. The Chinese, they could never do what we do. it took us how many 100 years to achieve what we have. Europe, did it took them hundreds of years. So they underestimate the brilliance of the Chinese. So the Chinese said, okay, well, if you want to get into this market, teach us. And America willfully, big companies in America, because Richard Nixon took a lot of CEOs with him to China, they willfully agreed to share their knowledge with the Chinese. The Chinese copy them. And the Chinese are beating them by their own game now. So when they're saying that the Chinese are stealing, no, the Chinese are not stealing. The Chinese are not stealing nothing from you. The Chinese are beating you at your own game. So if the Chinese could do it, we can do it. We are brilliant. Guys, we are brilliant. So Africa is a place that gives you the opportunity. We are the white people realizing, the Indians realize that, the Arabs realize that, and that's why they're all there. You have we were traveling in like Tanzania, went to Singida. The Chinese over there have land that they bought like from the government for a number of years, right? Agricultural land. And you have white people there. I met white Canadians there who lease land from the Chinese, and they're farming soybeans. They farm soybeans and sell into Bangladesh and to China. So you sit there and you don't look for some place to go in Africa where we can help build our continent, because it belongs to us, so we have to do it. This is the only place as a black person that gives you opportunity, guys, because America is going down. And the sad thing is when America goes down, it's taking Canada with it because our economy is so intertwined. America, Canada, Mexico. Get out. Get out as fast as you can and as soon as you can. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like, leave a comment, share the video, continue sharing with me. Until next time, bye for now.